Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm actually doing another video. I've been seeing a lot of people having a lot of good luck on some really awesome item drops in Raiders camps. So today I've actually decided I'm in the middle of my run. I'm going to go ahead and stop off at a Raiders camp, see if I can burn through some of these weapons before I head back to my home. Typically, I like to do a lot of multi-run zones. So coming up from my home, which we have right here, I'd like to come up here, follow a path up to this chieftain, then up to this chieftain, follow again up to this chieftain, which I just cleared, and over to this raider I'm going to go ahead and stop through on my way to this chieftain. I'm going to stop through that raider because this chieftain at least has another hour before it resets. So let's go ahead and stop through here and see what kind of fun loot we can find inside. Now, good thing that I've found about chieftains is as long as you actually have something that can bust through brick walls, you should be pretty good to get most of the loot, as well as something that can bust through wooden walls. Most of these guys don't seem too tough. I've seen a lot of small boars, but you definitely don't see inside chieftains. Yes, I'm purposely trying to break my morning star to make room inside my inventory. I have way too much stuff right now. So is the consequence of multi-zone runs. And like most of my runs, obviously, I really don't run with armor unless I find it along the way. If we're going to deal with a frog, let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. Found this in one of my chests inside the last chieftain. If you're going to do multi-run zones, pick up some weapons along the way, but you don't necessarily have to. This wolf is becoming a pain in my butt. Change direction. That's not changing direction. Wolves are actually relatively simple to kill if you have a one-star crossbow. It takes 2 shots and you can usually kill them before they reach you. And he saw me. Damn. I'm taking way too much damage compared to normally. Also notice with most of these raiders camps is they usually only have one spot or one main building inside these that you have to deal with. That's where you're going to find majority, actually all of your loot, really. Fun thing to note that I've noticed is that you cannot sneak up on another monster and get a critical hit while another monster is looking at you. I've noted this especially if you ever have, say, a bone crusher inside a building nearby. There's nothing around that building that you can sneak up on. As long as that bone crusher is always following you, which can be a nuisance. So like that frog's looking at me if I get too close. No, he didn't see me. Ah, this is what we were using this for. Oh, they're just piling up here for me. Run! Dang it. You're annoying. I have to say, the one-star crossbow is by far one of my favorite weapons right now. Ugh, stables are good for the hay. Even if it has hay, I'm probably not going to pick it up. I'm told some people have found the stable parts inside here. I have never found stable parts inside a stable. Maybe that's just bad luck. I don't know. Most of your farm plots are going to contain rushes, turnips, and if you're lucky, maybe some herbs. Typically, I don't carry around a lot of food or mar or water. You try to pick them up along the way, and that's exactly what I like. I like herbs. At this point, once you reach about my level, you're going to be needing a lot of oil. A lot of oil for oaks, a lot of oil for upgrades. Several wooden... Oh, there's a wolf. And he spotted me. And another spotted me. Hate dealing with wolves. Annoying little pests. Stop moving. Thank you. No! And I'm having so much trouble controlling my... Alright, this thing's becoming a pain in the butt. Give me my health back. There's something hiding. That's a wolf. That's what's hiding back there. It's always a good idea to keep an eye on your map. You can see the red dots. You can see which way they're facing. And if you're good enough with your sneak, you can change the direction that they're facing. If you watch the targeting, you can actually watch... If you can't see something off of your screen, if you watch the targeting, see how I'm targeting a palisade. Now I'm no longer targeting the palisade, so it must be targeting the spider. This is the one building I was talking about, the one we have to bust through. You always want to break in through one side at least. Doesn't necessarily matter which side at this point, because we want to get to both sides of the building. Spiders, so easy to deal with. Inside these cooking pots, you can find turnip soup, coal, and if you're lucky, hearty stew. A bear, I'm pretty sure we can avoid him altogether. Now, sadly, I'm not necessarily sure which one. I haven't been too many raiders, so knowing which wall to bust open, I don't necessarily know. So let's go ahead and test this one out. I need to burn through this. It's taking up room. Alright, so our main chest is going to be here. It's so that probably wasn't the best wall to break through. Rush wall, not too bad. That's a trap I just ran right into. You can avoid traps if you want to. Just hug the walls. If they're in the center of the room, hug the walls, and you should be able to avoid them. These crossbow traps really don't do a whole lot of damage. Most of the time, they'll just end up hurting your armor. Now, that's actually pretty good for a raider. That's really good for a raider. Huh, I guess people weren't kidding. These are pretty good. Let's see what's over here. Leatherworking state, or tannery rather. These you're going to find your water skins, you can find heavy pelts, you can definitely find some leather inside here. I don't need anything that's really inside here, I'm just unlocking it for unlocking's sake, since I am limited on room. Inside here, you can find some oak planks, some regular planks, oak logs, and if you're lucky, oak planks. Carpenter's benches. Regular planks. I still have 2 more weapons I need to burn through. I brought 2 crossbows originally, 2 morning stars, and I've been through about, I think this is my 5th level. A wooden door. This should take us into the stone building. Yep. This is why it's not so bad inside. Well, obviously there's going to be a ward of pain there and a crossbow trap. Let's just run into all the traps here. There's the main chest that we want from this building. The staff I actually picked up at the last chieftain, and that had nothing inside. Of masonry tables. These guys can actually contain things like stone blocks, stone bricks, whetstones. I actually like the whetstones if I actually get my hands on those. I don't waste the durability of my weapons destroying traps. You can. I'm pretty sure they do give experience. Nothing that I want. Well, so far all I got was that meteorite ore, which is anything decent from here. Really don't need leather, don't need flax. Maybe the rune table would be better for me. Nope. Well, the meteorite ore made this trip not too bad. I've seen some people get way better loot on some of the posts that they've been making. But then again, that's RNG. Sometimes these random number generators are really just not helpful to you. They don't really give you anything that you really need. Sometimes you just waste your efforts. But don't let that get you down. It doesn't mean that raiders are bad. It just means that maybe I just didn't have as good as luck as the next person. Unlike the chieftain, these things, obviously, since it only has one building that you have to break into and a lot less wooden walls you have to break through, this one is probably good for starters, for persons that are starting out on some raids, trying to do some of these harder levels. So obviously I had a little bit of trouble running into with a lot of the wolf packs. Those wolves are quite annoying at times to, get away with. They do have a long view range. Oh, hello, bear. Just going to hit all the palisades on the way out. "15 minutes going on a raiders camp." No, that's not too bad. It took us 15 minutes to complete that raiders camp. My next stop, obviously, I still have about an hour before I'm going to go there. So maybe, since I got 2 weapons to blow through, I can probably stop off at a cursed forest along the way. I know there's a catacombs down here as well that I can probably stop off at as well, while I wait the hour for that chieftain to reset. 'Cause I want to hit that place before I start heading back home, which is way down here. And one fun thing to keep in mind, yes, it doesn't matter how far you end up away from home. Obviously, I've traveled way out here. This isn't a distance that you can normally travel from one, movement. But whenever you are traveling home, you can always walk the distance, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, it doesn't necessarily matter. You can walk the distance. And the best part is that your run will only cost 100 energy. So I needed to run home at any given time. As you can see here, I'm an hour and a half away. And I could still run home for 100 energy if I really wanted to. If I began walking now, I'm pretty sure halfway through my energy will have, restored enough to me to continue running anyways. So it's not actually going to be a full hour and a half just to get home. It's a lot less. Usually it'd take me about 45 minutes actually. But what I'll probably end up doing is, since I've only just now finished my first crossbow, I just now finished my first mace, and I still have these 2 weapons to burn through before I get to my second mace and my second crossbow. At this point, since I've already hit, so let's see, raiders, chieftains, 2, 3, 4. Well, I've only hit 4 places thus far, according to this. And by the time I hit that 5th one, so I can probably stop off over here. Yeah, I'll probably do a cursed forest. I mean, I got 2 right there if I can run between pretty quick, or I can do a cursed forest and a catacombs, cursed forest and chieftains, maybe come back to this catacombs. That way I'm a little bit closer to home. But multi-zone running is typically what I do. It's not for the faint of heart. It does take a lot longer, but as you can see here, I come home with a lot more fun stuff. Now, I am limited on my room, obviously, so a lot of stuff's going to get left behind. I'm probably not going to be taking home any brimstone. I got plenty of it. It's one of these things that you just have to pick and choose which loot you want to take home, what's worth taking home. Usually the rare loot, like your sinew, a lot of people look for. Obviously, we need a lot of oak planks in these upgrades. Magic dust is it is required in a lot of these upgrades. Elm is pretty rare, which is required in these upgrades. Clay, I need a lot of clay. I can use these herbs to make oils, and there's also a secondary potion. I can't remember its name, but you make it on the alchemy station, and they cost like 4 herbs each on top of other materials, but you need a lot of herbs, you need a lot of oil, you need a lot of everything. So I go out on these really long trips in hopes that I can pick up all these really fun items, take them back to my place, and then, start getting some upgrades done. With the magic dust I actually picked up on this trip, I should be able to start upgrading, I think, my masonry table, which is pretty close. But that runs out we're about out of time now, so hopefully this video helps y'all, and y'all have yourselves a great day.